परिभवघ्नमभीष्ट दोहम् तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चिनुतं शरण्यम् भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपाल भवाब्धि पोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमल मालिने नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं ह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees, let's now chant for a few minutes before I begin the discourse. भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राम
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राम
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राजा राम।
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राम।
भजो पतित पावन सीता 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 राम।
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा 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 राम।
भजो पतित पावन पतित पावन सीता राम।
भजो 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 रघुपति राघव राजा 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 लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Devotional listeners, now I request you to focus your attention on the topic of discussion tonight. We are practitioners of devotion. We are walking on the path of bhakti. And as we walk on this path, we do many things right. At the same time, we make some mistakes. Tonight, I would like to point out two most damaging mistakes that we make as we practice devotion. We have no doubt understood that human form of life is the greatest gift that God has given to us. In the words of Adi Shankaracharya, Durlabham trayamevaitat daivanugrahakarakam Manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha sambhava. There are three things which are very difficult to attain in life, and if you have attained them, it is only due to the grace of the Almighty. These three are human form of life, a desire to know God, and meeting with a genuine saint, a guru. Human form of life, hunger for God, and Guru. If you have received these three, if you have these three in your life, then you have received the three best graces of life, of God. These gifts are the most precious, and only God can give these to us. We do have the human form of life, and we also have a hunger for God, there's no doubt. And we are blessed with the association of a saint. We have a guru in our lives. So what is keeping us away from reaching the final goal? We make mistakes, and there are two biggest mistakes. The first one is procrastination. Procrastination. Our good intentions are there, no doubt. But then we procrastinate. I will do bhakti tomorrow. I will become serious. Just now, any minute now, I'm going to become serious in my devotional practice. This year, this is the year. We said and we thought at the beginning of 2021, this is the year. And now, as 2021 is about to end, 2022 will come. If we are fortunate enough to be alive, then we will make another vow to ourselves. This is the year. Every year we think this is the year. But we procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate? The reason is that we don't think we are going to die anytime soon. We fully believe that we have a very long, long life to live, that we have many, many years to go, and we don't even think about our demise. There was a saint by the name Narayan. He has said, "Do baatan ko bhuli mat, jo chahasi kalyan, Narayan ik maut ko Dujo Shri Bhagwan." Saint Narayan says, don't forget two things. One is death, first death, second, God. Death before God? Yes. If you keep death in mind, in the forefront of your mind, you will never procrastinate. You have faith in God. Yes, I have faith in God. You have faith in your Guru. Yes, I have faith in my Guru. You believe that the ultimate goal of life is God realization. But of course, what else is the goal of life? Do you believe that life is temporary and it may end soon? Not really. I think I have a long, long way to go yet. नारायण हरि भजन में तू जनी देर लगाए, ना जाने या देर में श्वास रहे कि जाए. Again, Saint Narayan says, do not delay devotion because you don't know whether you will have another breath or not. Maybe this is your final breath. It's very possible. Very possible. So if we keep mrityu or death in mind, we will never procrastinate. Yudhishthir was asked, what is the biggest surprise in the world? Yaksh had asked, Kim Ashcharyam? What is the biggest wonder in the world? Yudhishthir ji said, Ahanyahani bhutani gacchanti yamalayam sheshah sthiratvam icchanti kim ashcharya matah param. The biggest surprise is this, that despite seeing our fellow human beings meeting their demise, despite seeing that so many people are dying every single day, and people we know, yet we think that we are immortal. We seem to think that, he'll die, she'll die, they will all die, but not I. Not I. I shall never die. I am here forever. This is our thought. We deny it. No, logically, of course, death will come, but emotionally we don't accept it. Absolutely not. We are planning on living. We are not planning that one day we will have to leave, and that day may be anytime soon. There was a man who went to a saint and said, Guruji, I just can't seem to do meditation. I can't seem to do Rup Dhyan. I don't know what I have to do to succeed. The saint said, you're talking about meditation on God, and I can see that you have only 1 week of life to live. You have just 7 days, that's it. The man said, 7 days, that's all? He was a devotee. So he said, 7 days is all I have, and I'm not able to focus on God. What will I take with me to my next life? What will I take with me? What should I do, Guruji? He was in a panic. The saint said, go home, settle all your worldly affairs in 6 days, and then come to me. So the man went home, he settled all his worldly affairs, he let go of all the anger and all the enmities. He made peace with everyone, all his family members, friends. He became very light. Because when we hold on to grudges and anger and enmities, then we feel very heavy. Our heart is very heavy. He let go of everything because he thought, I just have one week of life to live. I cannot take this hatred with me. Why would I damage myself by taking hatred with me and enmity with me? So he made peace with everyone and then went to the saint and said, Guruji, now tell me, how can I do Rup Dhyan? Guruji said, imagine this. Close your eyes and imagine this, then imagine that. And then Guruji asked, are you able to do Rup Dhyan? The man said, yes, I can do it. It seems easy now. The saint said, that is because you think that you're going to die tomorrow. To tell you the truth, I don't know when you're going to die. But I wanted to tell you how you can succeed in doing Rup Dhyan. You're not thinking that this day will be your last. So you're thinking you have lots of time left. So you are being lazy and you're being careless. You are procrastinating. The saint said, as for me, I'm able to do Rup Dhyan every day because every day I think this is my final day. I do not procrastinate. So procrastination is a very bad habit that we have. And we cannot say that we procrastinate in every area. We don't. We don't ever think, Oh, it's time to eat. I think I'll eat tomorrow. Let me just put it off till tomorrow. Someone comes, a friend comes, and then there's a good gossip session that's going to start. We don't ever say, you know what, here, hold on, let's gossip next week. Let me go shopping next year. Let me sleep sometime later. Maybe I won't sleep today. Maybe I'll sleep tomorrow or day after. We don't procrastinate in every area of life, do we? When it comes to the welfare of the body, we are very active. For the sake of money, a person would drive for so many miles for the sake of money and thereby taking care of the body. For the sake of the body, there's a couple and they both live in two different states. They live in two different cities. Because she has a job there, he has a job over here, and they're willing to do that, and they meet up on the weekend. For the sake of the body, we don't procrastinate. We are very active. We pursue worldliness. We are very active in doing that. We don't procrastinate. That means that when we think that something is important for us, we do it right away. We do it right away. But when we think that this work is not important, then we say, I'll do it some other time. So the knowledge of the philosophy is of the utmost importance. Siddhant boliya chitte nakor alas. Gauranga Mahaprabhu says, do not be lazy and careless in acquiring knowledge of scriptures. First of all, we must do Shravan. We must listen to the divine teachings. Listen to the Guru. Listen to the divine Guru. And we must listen to those teachings of the scriptures as explained by the Guru. Secondly, we must do Manan. We must revise those teachings in the mind. We must churn that knowledge in our mind again and again. As Bhagwan Vedavyasji says, Vicharya cha punah punah, again and again. And the third step is Nididhyasan. To decide and to put that theory into practical application. To convert that theory into practice. So every day we must devote some time to thinking, what is important for me? Who am I really? Am I this body? I spend so much time taking care of the body. I take such care in feeding this body, and I take such care to protect my body from the elements. I spend so much time trying to look beautiful, physically beautiful. So many people go through painful surgeries just to fix that crooked nose, to get those fuller lips. So much is done for the sake of the body. There's so many tutorials on the internet that will show you how you can transform your face. And it is quite amazing. And there is so much time and effort put in. We put in so much time and so much effort and spend so much money in taking care of the body and trying to make it look beautiful. Because we think that the body is important. And taking care of the body, therefore, is very important. We say, I need my sleep. I need my 8 hours of sleep. I need my sleep, my beauty rest. Kabir Das Ji says, what about the inner beauty? When are you going to try to become beautiful on the inside? He says, Tere daya dharam nahi man mein mukhda kya dekhe darpan mein. When you don't have those virtues, daya, compassion, and when you don't follow dharma, then why are you looking at the face? Why are you so concerned with physical beauty? I introduced a devotee by the name Sundaram to Sri Maharaji many, many years ago. I said, Maharaji, this is Sundaram. Sri Maharaji said, I remember Sri Maharaji said, Sundaram, man se sundar bano. Sundar means beautiful. His name is Sundaram. Sri Maharaji said, become beautiful on the inside. We must devote some time every day to the very important questions. Who am I? What is my goal in life? How will I get there? And then we will decide that the body is not the most important thing. The body is given to us so that through the body we may further the interest of the soul. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. The body is not the most important thing. The body is a vehicle through which we can fulfill the purpose of the soul. This is why we must take care of the body. And it is important to take care of the body, yes? But so much time spent on taking care of the body and so little time in taking care of the soul, where is the balance? There is no balance. We have an imbalance in life. Or do we not realize that we are the soul? Have we not heard thousands and thousands of times that you are the Atma, you are the soul? What are we doing with that knowledge? Oh, I heard about it and I nodded my head. Yes, that is true. I know I'm not the body. I have a body, but I am the soul. Yes, you nod your head. You say, yes, I believe in this. Yes, I have a guru. I've been given a guru through the grace of God. And my guru has taught me all this. But then the question comes, what are you doing with that knowledge? We must ask ourselves, what am I doing with that knowledge? Am I putting it into daily practice? Why am I procrastinating? In our Hindu history, there are so many examples of kings and emperors who had so much going for them. They were living in the lap of luxury. They had incredible amounts of wealth we cannot even think about. They had so much valor, they had so much strength. For instance, Dasharath. He was a king, the father of Bhagwan Sri Ram. And he was a Maharathi. That was a title conferred upon him. A Rathi means a charioteer. Then, a man who can fight thousands of charioteers by himself is known as an Atirathi. Then someone who can fight thousands of Atirathis by himself is known as Maharathi. King Dasharath was a Maharathi. He was so strong and so powerful. And besides that, he could go to Swarga anytime he wanted, and he could claim half of Indra's kingdom whenever he wanted. And yet, when he saw a few gray hair on his head, he thought to himself, Shravan sameep bhaye sit kesa, manahu jarat pan as updesa, nrip jubraj ram kahun dehu, जीवन जन्म लाहु किन लेहूं. Ramayana. Oh, my gray hair is an indication of old age. End is soon approaching. I will immediately give up my kingly duties, and I shall then retire to the forest and I shall practice devotion full time. I don't want to think about running a kingdom. Enough of that. I must pursue my ultimate purpose in life. I must try to fulfill that ultimate goal in life. King Dasharath had so much, and yet he was willing to renounce it. And that was a plan he made. We have so little, and yet we hold on to everything we have. We have so little. We are in a very precarious situation. There was a man who was hiking in the woods. And he was hiking for a few hours, and then when it came time, when the sun was about to set, he thought, now evening time is approaching, it's becoming dark, now I shall leave. So as he was leaving the woods, he found that there were some animals that were blocking his path. He became afraid of those animals, and he turned around, he went back. And in trying to get away from those animals, he penetrated even further into the woods. As he was running away from the animals, he saw a very old woman with gray hair, completely white hair, and she had her arms outstretched as if she wanted to embrace him. He became so frightened, even more frightened, and he ran in the opposite direction. As he was running, he stepped onto a grassy patch. He did not know that the grassy patch was just a covering for a very deep pit. As he was running, he stepped onto the grassy patch. His feet became entangled in some creepers that were at the base of a tree. And the man found himself hanging upside down above the pit. Visualize this scene. This man is hanging upside down above the pit. And at the bottom of the pit, there's a snake, just waiting for the man to fall so that it may bite him. And there are 2 rats that are nibbling away at the base of the tree. They have cut quite a bit of the base. They've cut into the root of the tree, and any time now the tree may fall. And the creepers are from that tree, so the man will fall into the pit. 2 rats, one white, one black, they're nibbling away at the base of the tree. And on that tree, there is a beehive. And the bees, they became disturbed with all this commotion, the man falling, and they started to sting the man's face. And yet, this man is wearing a happy expression on his face. Why? There's nothing to be happy about, but he seems to be happy because some honey is trickling down from the beehive, and it is falling onto his lips, and he's smacking his lips, and he's thinking how sweet this honey is. It's wonderful. The bees are stinging you. The rats are there nibbling away at the tree. There's a snake at the bottom of the pit. You're hanging upside down, and you're not afraid. Oh, he has forgotten all about the rats and the snake and the bees because he has become so enamored with the taste of honey. Now you will say, well, this man is very foolish. But I say to you that we are even more foolish than this man. In fact, we are this man. The animals blocking the man's path as he's leaving the woods, those animals are very frightening. We are faced with those frightening animals. Those are the big problems that we have in life, the problems that come about in life. And the old woman with outstretched arms, that is death, ever waiting to embrace us. The 2 rats nibbling away at the base of the tree. The tree is the tree of our life, and the white rat and the black rat are day and night. As each day passes and as each night passes, we are getting closer and closer to our death. And the snake at the bottom of the pit, that is time in the form of death, waiting to sting us, waiting to devour us. And yet, just a few pleasures of life make us forget everything, all the dangers. We forget everything and we say, oh, I'm so happy today. I got a new outfit, I got a new piece of jewelry. Just got a new car. I just spent a lot of nice time, good time with my friends. I went to a wonderful movie. Few pleasures of this world are enough to distract us from the big problems that we have. We are not even mindful of them, so we are procrastinating. This procrastination turns out to be very dangerous for us. Our devotional progress comes to a standstill because there's no urgency. There is no urgency. We don't feel any urgency. That is why. I'll do it just now. Ab kari ho, imi kahi, rahi jai ho pachitat. Are man avasar beetyo jat. In Prem Ras Madira, Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, Shri Maharaj Ji says, I will do it just now. I'm just about to do it. I'm just about to practice devotion. You keep saying that, and then death comes, and then you have nothing but to regret your procrastination. So, the first bad habit we have, and it's a habit, it's not our nature. We cannot claim that procrastination is my nature. Nature can't be changed. It's our nature to seek happiness in life. So we can't change our nature. No matter how hard you try, you can never seek unhappiness in life. It's a natural nature. No teacher has ever had to teach her students, by writing on the blackboard or through other means, that look, you children, learn the lesson today, very important lesson. Always look for happiness in life. The teacher thinks, what if they start looking for misery in life? I must teach them. This is in the curriculum. But this lesson is not in any curriculum, in any school, in any country of the world, because nobody has to be taught to seek happiness. That's our nature. Nature cannot be changed, but habits can be changed. Someone has acquired a habit of smoking. Now he wants to give up. He wants to quit this habit. Now, if he just acquired this habit a month earlier, it will be not too difficult for him to let go of this habit. But if he has been smoking for decades, 4 decades, for 40 years he's been smoking, it's going to be very hard to give up this habit. So the habit of procrastination, we can get rid of it. We can get rid of it by trying, by understanding the importance of doing devotion right away and not waiting for the next day or even for the next moment. The person who says, I'll do it just now, I'm just about to start devotion, is not serious. Oh, I'm going to start in 5 minutes. No, he's not serious. The one who is serious starts doing it without saying that he'll just do it just now, just now, just now. There was a couple. The wife was talking to her husband and she said, my younger brother, and the brother was living with them, she said, I'm very worried about him. Why are you worried? Because he's been talking about leaving home and becoming a sannyasi. Oh, I see. No, I mean he's serious because he's wearing this Rudraksh mala, and he's wearing this Radhe Shami There's a special shawl he's wearing now, and he puts a tilak on his forehead. Have you not noticed? And he's been talking about it for a month now, that he wants to leave home. He wants to become a sannyasi. So I'm very afraid. This woman's husband says, you don't need to be afraid. He's not going to become a sannyasi. He's not going to leave home. No, don't worry. But he's been saying it for so long. And the husband said, no, that's not the way to take sannyas. He's not serious about it. I'll show you what seriousness is. And the man, the husband, he left home because there was detachment brewing within him, but he didn't talk about it. He took a decision and he left. After saying to his wife, look, your brother's not going to leave home. He's not serious. He just keeps on talking about it. This is how you take sannyas. And he left and he took sannyas right away. If you're going to practice devotion, you don't talk about it. I'll start just now. I'll do Rup Dhyan. And I hear this a lot of times, I'm just going to become serious next month. And why look at anyone else? Our own mind tells us, just wait until this time is over. I'm really busy right now. Just wait until this busy time is over, and then I'll do nothing but devotion. Those are plans that don't get fulfilled. Ratrirgamishyati bhavishyati suprabhatam bhasvanudeshyati bhavishyati. There was a bee that was tasting the nectar of the lotus flower. There were many lotus flowers growing in a pond, and a bee was tasting the nectar of one of these flowers. Night was falling, the sun was setting, and the bee thought, I should fly away, because when the sun sets, the petals of the lotus will fold and I will become a prisoner. But then the bee thought, is that a bad thing? I'll be a happy prisoner. I'll be tasting the nectar of the lotus all night long. And then in a few hours, the sun will rise in the sky, the petals of the lotus will unfold. When the sun rises in the sky, the rays of the sun will fall upon the earth, they'll fall upon this pond, they'll fall upon this lotus growing in the pond. When the petals open, I shall fly away. In the meantime, I shall have a party tonight. The bee made this plan, but sadly, the bee was not able to realize its plan, because just then a very thirsty animal, a thirsty elephant, came to the pond, and it drank the water of the pond. Along with the water, the elephant uprooted the lotus that was growing in the pond, and now the lotus is in the elephant's stomach, and the bee, as the bee is making the plans to taste the nectar of the flower all night long. And this is what happens with us. So procrastination is it's a habit that we must try to get rid of. Second habit, which is bad, is that we fail to see God within ourselves and within everyone else. That's a very dangerous habit. The failure to see God within ourselves and within others. Because I don't realize that God is within me, because I forget that God is within me, I commit many sins. I commit many offenses. When do we do anything wrong? Not when people are around. Then we are very good. People say, my goodness, you're so good. You're so wonderful. You are so devotional. Because we have a great desire to be known as a good person, a holy person even, a devotional person. We want to look good in the eyes of others. But when no one is looking, that's when we do the wrong thing. Because nobody's looking. And we forget that God is looking. We cannot do anything in private. There's no such thing as privacy. because God is always with us. So when we forget this, we break the rules of devotional practice. We commit offenses that are called sins. We forget God. And our scriptures they give a definition of sin. The definition that they give of sin is very simple: forgetfulness of God. So when we forget God, that is the sin, because that's when we commit many wrongs. I am never alone. There's always myself and my Lord. God and myself. We are together all the time. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parikhasvajate tayoranya pippalam swadvatya nashnan nanyo abhichakashiti. Mundakopanishad. The individual soul and the Supreme Soul are two birds perched on the same branch of the tree. The Supreme Soul, God, is always with the individual soul. So these two birds are perched on the same tree. The only difference is that the bird, called the individual soul, is always tasting the fruits of its actions. And the Supreme Soul, that bird, is always looking at the individual soul as the eternal witness, Sakshi. Sri Maharaj Ji says in his wonderful words that you forget that your dear Papaji is sitting inside of you. Your Lord and Master, your Father, your everything is sitting inside of you, taking note, and you are thinking that you are alone, that you're doing things in private. And then we also forget that God lives within each and every human and within each and every creature. What harms our devotion is when we look at the faults of others. When we look at the faults of others, we damage the palace that we are trying to build, the palace of devotion, Bhakti Ka Mahal. We're building it, and then it is as if we are breaking it down at the same time when we look at the faults of others. And we look at the others' faults because we forget that God lives within his heart. We should learn from saints by observing saints, by listening to their stories, or perhaps we've had a chance to see for ourselves how a saint feels about others. Jagatguru Sri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, Sri Maharaj Ji was very kind and compassionate, but not only to those who praised him. He was kind and compassionate to even those who tried to harm him. I have seen this firsthand. I have been amazed, I have been humbled, I have been incredulous. How can you be so kind to the one who is trying to harm you, to harm the organization, stealing money from the organization, and yet you are so kind that you would not even hear anyone, you're not willing to hear anyone talk against that person to you. You will not tolerate it. Because a saint realizes that God is within every person. So he sees the goodness in every person. We tend to see the wrongs in the person, and a saint sees virtues in that same person. We see a fault in someone and we magnify it. Somebody gets angry perhaps, and we say, oh my goodness, so much anger, you're such an angry person. Actually, he's a very calm person. But once he became angry and we made a judgment call that he's a very angry man. But a saint sees many, many faults within us and sees one virtue and magnifies that virtue. Oh, you're such a good person. And therefore, a saint is always kind, compassionate, loving. Not only to those who are his devotees, but also to those who are who consider themselves as his enemies. They badmouth him, they try to harm him, they might even try to kill him, but he cannot think anything against them. He will not think anything against them. He will not criticize them, even in his mind. He will not tolerate anyone criticizing them, because he sees that God is in everyone. When we start seeing this, when we try very hard to see that God is in everyone, then there is a great appreciation for everyone. We will appreciate every person. We will not find any ordinary person then. We will find each and every person we meet to be extraordinary. Because God is sitting within him. How can he be ordinary? How can we harm that person through our words, through our actions? How can we ever harm him? Because God is within him. And I want the grace of that God who is within this person. We hear stories of saints who have graced this earth, and we hear that they were always kind and compassionate. A man went to Lord Buddha, and Lord Buddha was not only a saint, he was God himself, but he came to earth in the form of a saint. He taught the message, the divine message. A man went to Lord Buddha and started to abuse him verbally. He had many choice words for Mahatma Buddha. Lord Buddha did not cast any judgment towards this man and just remained in his naturality. He did not tell his disciples, look, take care of this man, throw him out. How dare he do this? How dare he insult me like this? He just listened to this man. He could see God in this man, so he was very patient. He asked his disciples, in fact, he said, do you not see this man? He's working so hard. You have not offered him any water, no snack, nothing. What is wrong with you? How can he think like this? How can he think like this? We are seeing a man who is very abusive, and Mahatma Buddha is seeing someone who has God within him. So let's look at our own lives. There are some people we are very attached to with feelings of love, and there are others that we are attached to with feelings of hatred. It may be mild hatred, it may be a dislike, but we have both kinds of people in our lives. People we are attached to with love, and people to whom our mind is attached with feelings of hatred or dislike. Which means that we are not able to see God in every person. But Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, Sri Maharaj Ji emphasizes that we must see God in everyone. We say, I can't, I just can't. But then the question is, have you tried? How much have you tried? We would say to Sri Maharaj Ji, many people, many devotees would say, Maharaj Ji, Bhagwan mein man lagta nahi hai. Roop dhyan hota nahi hai. I'm not able to do Roop dhyan. I am not able to focus on God. And Sri Maharaj Ji would then ask this person, how much have you tried? How hard do you try? Someone came to me and said, you taught me the basics of dholak playing, but I don't know for what reason, but I just can't seem to play the dholak. And I thought there was such a simple method. Actually, Sri Maharaj Ji taught us the method. He taught us the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, from counting from 1 to 8 and how to place the fingers. So how is it that you're not able to play? It's been a few months. So I asked her, well, how much do you practice every day? And she looked very sheepish and she said, well, actually, I don't practice. You don't practice and yet you wonder why you're not able to play this instrument. Does it come as a surprise to you? Does it come as a surprise to us that I'm not able to see God in everyone? But why not? Because I don't try. We must try. We must try to see God within every person. Fact is that we are able to see faults even in saints. The divine ones who are free of blemish, free of faults, and they come just to help us. They teach us about God, but we find fault with them. We find fault with them. Because we've had this habit of finding faults. We've had this habit of not seeing that everyone has God within them. But again, this is not our nature, it's a habit. And habits can be corrected. Bad habits can be let go of. And so with diligent practice, we can let go of the habit of not seeing God in everyone. And we can develop the habit, the opposite habit, that God dwells within everyone. And also we must get into the habit of accepting that God lives within my heart. We know this as a theory, but we need to put that theory into practice. And from theory to practice, what is in between? A lot of effort. Effort is needed. You know, God and Guru do not look at anything else but effort. Whenever Sri Maharaji praised anyone, it was because of their effort. He never said, this person has succeeded so much. He always said, this person tries so hard. This person makes a lot of effort. He would look at effort and he would praise effort. He would encourage the effort. So if we make diligent efforts, if we make lots of effort to let go of these two habits, which are very damaging to the progress of our devotional practice, we are sure to succeed. I shall remind you, two habits. First one that I mentioned is procrastination. The habit of putting off important work until the next day. We tend to do the work which is easy first, but we put off the most important work till the next day. So procrastination. Secondly, the bad habit, the twofold habit of not seeing, not accepting that God is within us, and not accepting that God is within every person and every creature. We have become aware of these habits, and now we must make diligent efforts to get rid of these habits so that good habits may come in. बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे.